Hello, Northeastern parents and student athletes. My name is J.R. Kramer, and this is a presentation on the Code of Conduct for Athletics here at Northeastern High School. So to begin, I would like to start with a quote by Simon Sinek. He's the author of Leaders Eat Last. He says, "The art of leadership is about inspiring people to build something, not threatening to break something." All too often, I hear confusion or even negativity from student athletes or parents in regards to our policies and rules for athletics. In my opinion, this is likely due to these policies not being communicated clearly enough to you. Our policies are not intended to break up teams or hurt the individual. They are intended to make our group stronger. The point of this presentation is to communicate with you some key points within our Code of Conduct, communicate how they will affect you, but maybe most importantly, explain why these policies exist. All too often, rules and policies are made, then we expect you to comply, but rarely do we walk you through why these rules exist. Today, I want to show you the Code of Conduct through our eyes, so we can continue to grow as one team. The Northeastern Local Schools Code of Conduct is available for download on the district website, or just email me and I can provide you a copy. The document covers a vast number of policies, but for this presentation, I have selected the following topics to walk you through. To start, we will look at the structure of the pay-to-play fees, which were enacted in the fall of 2012. Next, attendance policies for practices and games. Also, how the school attendance policy overlaps with the athletic department and team policies. In the third section, we will look at specific conduct protocols. This is the behavior and sportsmanship section, but also includes specific rules on grooming and appearance. The next portion will be on academic standards. So what do you need to do in the classroom to remain eligible on the field? I want to emphasize again that this presentation is not designed to just recite the rules and tell you to follow them. My goal as your athletic director is to clearly communicate what we expect of everyone and why. I want us to be a stronger unit, and this presentation is designed to communicate our directions clearly. So while pay-to-play fees may not be seen specifically as conduct related, this is the first section of the Code of Conduct document, and it's a very important topic for me to explain. Some of you likely remember in the fall of 2012, Northeastern enacted these pay-to-play fees. We were one of the last schools in the area to charge fees for athletic participation, but the step to do so was vital for our long-term success. We continue to have these fees, and we thank you for your support. So here is the current breakdown. Marching band and cheerleading are $75 per season, and interscholastic sports are $125 per season. It's important to note that there are limits on how much an individual and family can pay in an academic year. The individual limit is $250 a year. This means if you play a sport in the fall and winter, you have hit the $250 limit, and a spring sport would be completely free to you. I want you to understand this limit because there have been instances in the past of student athletes and their parents not knowing that the third sport would be free and skipping spring sports participation. One of my top priorities is to give as many opportunities to our student athletes as possible, and this limit encourages participation. Along the same lines, there is also a family limit of $500. Once your immediate family hits the $500 limit in one academic year, you will not be charged additional pay-to-play fees. Again, we want to encourage participation, so take advantage if you hit this limit. Now, there is one additional little note to this. There will not be a refund if an athlete voluntarily quits a team. And there could be additional charges for that specific team. For example, sneakers for playing basketball. So we thank you for your continued support through these fees, which assist us in paying of officials, busing, maintenance for our facilities, payments to outside facilities like golf courses, and equipment and uniforms for our athletes. The pay-to-play fees will not cover the total costs associated with our teams, but they do assist us in keeping our budget closer to break even. Without these fees, we would likely have to reduce our total number of teams, which is the last thing I would ever want to see us do. Next is attendance. Attendance is vital to any team, and when a coach can count on each member to be at practices and games consistently, that group has the best chance for success. We develop attendance policies with this in mind. We want you to buy into your team and give maximal effort so the team and school can win. While we expect you to be committed to your team, we do understand that there may be instances of understandable absence. There are three main categories of excused absences, which are medical, scholastic, and personal. If you have a medical issue and cannot attend a practice or game, get a doctor's note and your absence will be deemed excused. If you have a scholastic conflict, which will be excused by the principal, that absence will also be forgiven. For example, if the National Honor Society banquet happens to fall on the same evening as a baseball game, you are expected to miss the game and it will be excused. The last category can be the trickiest, which is personal. There are numerous acceptable personal reasons for an absence, and I will list some of those next. But we want this category to be respected. A loss of a loved one would certainly be a personal reason that is deemed appropriate. But something that could have been scheduled around your team responsibilities will likely not be seen as excused. Unexcused absences will result in discipline, which does uphold our commitment to accountability. According to the Code of Conduct, the following absences will be considered legal or excused absences. Parent confirmation is necessary to establish a legal absence, so please communicate with us when an absence is going to occur. So the following are excused. First, personal illness. Second, critical illness in the family. Third, death of a relative. Fourth, quarantine for contagious disease. Fifth, observance of a religious holiday. And sixth, any reason which the principal may deem justifiable. As I said before, we want to think of our potential as a group, and we are stronger as a group when each member is committed to their attendance. The attendance policy allows us to hold everyone accountable and gives you the best chance for success. Also, I want all of you to know that these are the department and school guidelines. Our coaches may have specific guidelines that you need to know as well. Our next section will focus on specific conduct and grooming policies and why we have them. It is important to note that all conduct policies are enforceable 365 days a year as long as you are representing Northeastern High School. We want the best for you, and keeping these standards adds value to your educational and athletic experience. First, the Code of Conduct states, athletes shall be expected to dress properly when representing their school in athletic contests, both home and away. They should attempt to create a positive image of themselves and their team in the eyes of their fellow classmates, student body, and the community in general. Also, tattoos may not be displayed during athletic contests, and this is in accordance with the OHSAA rules. The Code of Conduct also says the head coach, in conjunction with the principal and athletic director, shall establish a policy of acceptable dress and appearance. So why do we have this policy? Imagine a time when you saw a team dressed professionally and cohesive. What impression did they make on you? They likely looked like they were respectful of their school, the opposing school, and the game they were about to participate in. How we conduct ourselves starts with the image we put forth. Our athletes will not only be walking through our halls, but also other schools. And we want to be the group that demonstrates respect with how we dress. Next, no student athlete shall engage in any act of hazing or bullying. These behaviors do not build teams, they destroy them. Northeastern forbids any such acts, and we will take strict discipline actions on anyone not complying. Student athletes are students first, and respectful conduct during school hours is also imperative to our success. So, classroom discipline will carry over to team discipline. We want our athletes to set the tone for what it means to be a respectful young adult. Participation in athletics is voluntary, but holding yourself and your teammates to the highest levels of respect is not. We will not be satisfied with just simply winning. We must win with class and dignity, because those positive character traits will stick with you throughout life and allow you to succeed no matter the venue. The district and school code of conduct policies overlap in many areas with the athletic department code of conduct. This is especially true when we look at academic requirements for participation. Our code of conduct states, a student in the preceding grading period must have received passing grades in a minimum of 5 one-credit courses or their equivalent and have at least a 1.67 9-week grade point average to participate in athletics. Averages shall be rounded to the nearest hundredth. So let me interpret and unpack this for you. This means you need at least a D in at least 5 classes in your prior grading period and at least a 1.67 GPA. You've got to have both. For some sports, for example football, a grading period ends and a new one begins during the season. This means you'll have your grades reevaluated at the end of the quarter for eligibility in the remaining contests. We hope that you strive to accomplish well beyond the minimum requirements, and I have instructed my coaches to emphasize the importance of overachieving in the classroom. It's important to note that we will also run weekly grade checks to keep in-season standards high. If your grades are slipping, we will step in and assist you in regaining your good academic standing. We'll do this by holding you out of potential practices and possibly contests. So why do we hold this standard? The first answer is your schoolwork is the top priority. Our goal as an athletic department is to work hand in hand with your teachers and the building administrators to provide you with a well-rounded education. And this starts with your studies. As noted in previous slides, We all want you to exceed expectations and develop into a well-rounded young adult. We will hold you to strict academic standards because good grades will open doors for your future. Parents, we want your son and/or your daughter to be the best version of themselves. It's my mission that we work together to do what is best for them. And these academic standards to keep eligibility are a necessity. In this presentation, we looked at 4 main categories within the Code of Conduct. First was pay-to-play fees. Then we talked about attendance. Next, we looked at specific behavior and grooming policies. And we finished with academic standards. These policies are written with your future and our school's future in mind. Our district and superintendent see our vision as school and community working together for student success. As an extension of the district, the athletic department also seeks to put student athletes first by building relationships within the community and assisting in our development as a team. We are one group, and we are committed to accountability, respect, and education. As I said in the first slide, these policies are not intended to hurt the individual or break up teams. They are written and enforced to make us stronger as a group. We will show up willing and eager to work. We will show respect to others by putting forth a positive image of ourselves. And we will understand that student athletes are students first. I want to thank you for your time. And I have linked the Student Athlete Code of Conduct on this slide, and it can also be found on the district website. I hope you understand the policies listed in the previous slides, and I know you can align yourself with them. But ultimately, I want you to understand why we have them. My mission is to build a clear dialogue, and I hope this presentation allowed the opportunity to understand where we are coming from. We want you to succeed. In order for that to happen, we must work together in all aspects of interscholastic athletics. And if we do this, we can go well beyond our past accomplishments. Go Jets.